lesson 6.4 off your iPad app. Today's lesson is talking about adding and subtracting polynomials. So when we add, it says to add or subtract polynomials, you're going to combine like terms. So I guess we need to review right quick, make sure you know what like terms consist of. Like terms. If I give you a polynomial that looks like this right here, okay, identify your like terms. Your like terms are going to be your letters that have the same exponents, so x squared and x squared would be a set of like terms. And then your 3x and 5x would be another set of like terms, and then that leaves you with just your 4. Okay? Just because this has an x does not mean you can combine it with these, because they have to have the same exponents to be like terms. Okay, but we've already learned that in a previous lesson, so that's just a review. So again, to add or subtract polynomials, you're going to combine like terms. And again, this is lesson 6.4 off your iPad app, so I'm going to give you time to get to that. While I find mine right quick. Okay. 6.4. If you pull your app up, you're probably already in 6.3, so if you just swap it over, you'll find 6.4. Okay, to add and subtract polynomials, you're just going to look for like terms. I can see I have addition. My like terms are 15m cubed, 2m cubed. So 15 plus 2 is going to give me 17m cubed. I mark them out after I combine them. And then that just leaves me with plus 6m squared. That's all we can do. It is now simplified. Looking at part B on example 1. The first thing I do is I change my subtraction to addition and change the sign right after it. So now looking at my like terms, I have 3x squared plus negative 7x squared. 3 plus negative 7 is going to give me negative 4x squared. And then that leaves me with 5 plus 12, which gives me plus 17. Again, it is now simplified. And then on C, under example 1, and again, you can follow along on your app. Look at my like terms. I can see I have y to the 5th, y to the 5th, x to the 5th, y to the 5th. Well, I'm going to change my subtraction to addition and change the sign right after it. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. So we're going to have 0.9. 0.9 plus negative 0.4 plus 1. That's going to give me 1.5 y to the 5th. Again, I'll mark them out after I combine them. That's only going to leave me with plus 0.5 x to the 5th. And then on D, again, I'm going to change my subtraction to addition, change the sign right after it. Subtraction to addition, change the sign right after it. Okay, I have x squared y, x squared y, x squared y. So those are all like terms. So if I say 2 plus negative 1 plus negative 1, what am I going to get? You know you're going to get 0. If you're not comfortable with your addition facts, again, you have a calculator. So when you put it in, you're going to get 0, which means all of this cancels out and your final answer is 0. Okay? The check it out problems. See, right under example 1, we see check it out. I'm going to do 1A and 1B. 1A, I have 2s squared plus 3s squared plus s. If I'm looking at my like terms, I have s squared. 2 plus 3 gives me 5s squared. And that leaves me with plus s. That's all I can do. I'm going to do 1b. Again, this is on your app. So I have 4z to the 4th minus 8 plus 16z to the 4th plus 2. Change my subtraction to addition, change the sign right after it. Okay, so let's look. Where are my like terms? I have z to the 4th, z to the 4th. So 4 plus 16 is going to give me 20, z to the 4th. And then I'm going to have negative 8 plus 2, which gives me negative 6. We are now simplified. And moving on to example 2. Adding polynomials. I can see that I'm adding. I have a polynomial plus a polynomial. So since we have parentheses, I'm going to look inside parentheses. Can I combine these? Do I have like terms? No, I don't. But I'm going to change subtraction to addition, change the sign right after it. Look at your next set of parentheses. Do I have like terms? No. So I'm going to change subtraction to addition, change the sign right after it. Since I can't combine anything and all I'm doing is adding, I'm going to copy it down without the parentheses. So I'm going to have 2x squared plus negative x. Drop down your plus sign. Now I have x squared plus 3x plus negative 1. Again, looking for your like terms. Let's look at our x squareds. 2x squared plus x squared. That's going to give me 2 plus 1 is 3x squared. Mark them out after you combine them. Then we have just our x's. I have negative 1 plus 3, which gives me plus 2x. And then that leaves me with minus 1. Okay. On B, again I'm adding polynomial plus polynomial. Look inside parentheses. I do not have like terms, so I can't do anything there. Here I do not have like terms, so I can't do anything there. So I'm just going to say negative 2ab plus b, bring down my plus, 2ab plus a. Now look for your like terms. Do I have any other ab's? I do right here. Negative 2 plus positive 2 cancels out, so it's not even going to be there. It's just like 0. And then that leaves me plus b plus a. You don't need the 0 in there, so that's just going to be b plus a is your final answer. And then on C, okay, I'm adding polynomial plus polynomial. Looking in parentheses, I do not have like terms, so I'm just going to drop it down as is. Bring down my plus. Look at your second set of parentheses. I see subtraction, so I'm changing to addition and changing the sign right after it. Do I have like terms? Yes, I do. I have 3b to the 5th, 7b to the 5th. 3 plus negative 7 is going to give me negative 4b to the 5th. And then 6b plus b gives me plus 7b. All right, we're getting somewhere. Keep combining like terms. 4b to the 5th plus negative 4. 4 plus negative 4 is 0, so it cancels out. And then 8b plus 7b is going to give me 15b. The check it out problems on number 2. I'm going to add 5a cubed plus 3a squared minus 6a plus 12a squared plus 7a cubed minus 10a. Alright. Looking in parentheses, I have a polynomial plus a polynomial. So I'm going to change this subtraction to addition, change the sign after it. Addition, change the sign after it. Okay? So do I have like terms in this first set? I have 5a cubed. Oh, I have 3a squared plus 12a squared, which is going to give me plus 15a squared. And then that leaves me with plus negative 6a. Bring down my plus sign. I don't have like terms in the second group, so I'm just going to copy down as is. Okay, have I taken care of all like terms? Not yet. I have 5a cubed plus 7a cubed, which is going to give me 12a cubed. Mark them out after you combine them. Do I have any other a squareds? No, so I have plus 15a squared. And then I have negative 6 plus negative 10. That is going to give me negative 16a. We've now simplified as low as it's going to go. Again, that's in standard form because the exponents are decreasing. Okay, example 3. This time we're subtracting polynomials. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my, I have a polynomial minus a polynomial. So I'm going to change the subtraction to addition, change the sign right after it. Okay, so I can't do anything in this group, so I'm going to have 2x squared plus 6, bring down my plus sign, negative 4x squared. Okay, like terms, I have 2 plus negative 4, which is going to give me negative 2x squared. Bring down my plus 6. On B, okay, I have a polynomial minus a polynomial. Remember, parentheses keep everything as a group. So if I'm going to change this subtraction to addition, I have to change the sign of everything inside this group. So that's going to become negative. That would become positive. This one would become negative. Okay. Do I have like terms in this first group? No, I have a to the fourth and an a. So I'm just going to, we'll change this subtraction to addition, change the sign right after it. So I'm going to have a to the fourth plus negative 2a, bring down my plus, and then I'm going to have negative 3a to the fourth plus 3a plus negative 1. Like terms, I have 1 plus negative 3, which is going to give me negative 2a to the fourth. Cross them out after you combine them. And then I have negative 2 plus 3, which just leaves me with plus a. And then I have minus 1. And that's simplified as low as it's going to go. Again, there's videos on your app that you can watch if you're still kind of confused. On the check it out, I'm going to do it right over here. We're going to have 2x squared minus 3x squared plus 1 minus x squared plus x plus 1. Okay, first of all, in this first group I have subtraction, so addition, change the sign right after it. Here I have subtraction, so addition, and I'm going to have to change the sign of everything in these parentheses. So it's going to be negative, negative, negative. Okay. So looking in this first group of parentheses, I can see like terms. So 2 plus negative 3 is going to give me negative 1, so I'm going to have negative x squared plus 1. Bring down my plus sign, negative x squared. Bring down my plus negative x and plus negative 1. Combining like terms, look at your x squareds. Negative 1 plus negative 1 gives me negative 2x squared. Do I have any other x's? No, so I have minus x. And then 1 plus negative 1 cancels out. So this is now simplified. At the beginning of this lesson, it says, well, who uses this? I mean, y'all ask me this all the time. When am I ever going to use this? Well, it says business owners can add and subtract polynomials that model a profit Profit is what you make after you pay all your employees and all your expenses. Profit is the money you get to keep. So if we go down to the business application, you follow along on your app. On the business application, we can see that Eastern Company has a profit model of negative 0.03 x squared plus 25x minus 1500. The Southern Company has a profit model of negative 0.02 x squared plus 21x minus 1700. The direction says, the profits of two different manufacturing plants can be modeled as shown, where x is the number of units produced at each plant. Alright, it says write a polynomial that represents the difference of the profits. Okay, the Eastern Company is negative 0.03 x squared plus 25x minus 1500. The Southern Company is negative 0.02 x squared plus 21x minus 1700. It wants me to write a polynomial representing the difference of these two. What does difference mean? Difference means to subtract. So I'm going to take the Eastern profit, I'm going to subtract the Southern profit. Okay? And it's still the same way. I have a polynomial minus a polynomial. So here I can see subtraction, addition, change the sign after it. I'm going to change this subtraction to addition, and since this is a group, I'm going to have to change each of these signs. This will become negative, this will become plus. Can't combine like terms in this first step, so I have negative 0.03 x squared plus 25x plus negative 1500. Drop down my plus, 0.02 x squared plus negative 21x plus 1700. Here we're just going to look at more like terms. I can see I have x squared, Negative 0.03 x squared plus 0.02 x squared is going to give you negative 0.01 x squared. I mark them out after I combine them. 25 plus negative 21, you know that's going to give you plus 4x. And then negative 1500 plus 1700 is going to give you plus 200. There is your polynomial that represents the difference of the two profits. And that's all it asks us to find. Alrighty, and that is today's lesson 6.4.